Pride of the West was a 1938 Hopalong Cassidy film starring William Boyd as Hopalong, Gabby Hayes as Windy, and Russell Hayden as Lucky. The film opens with Windy and Lucky arriving in town with a stagecoach, and apparently they were just robbed, and as usual, Lucky has been wounded in the arm again. He's always getting gunshot wounds in his arm. It's a wonder he has any arm left at this point. Anyhow, the bank owner, Caldwell, is played by Kenneth Harlem, who was robbed, is angry and says that he's going to bring in some outside detective or something like that to check out what is going on with this crime. Some of the locals aren't so sure that they can trust him either. Caldwell, we find out, is actually working with this evil realtor, Nixon, played by James Craig, to try to gain control of some of the local ranches that Nixon holds the mortgages to. So one way or another, these films always boil down to some kind of cattle rustling. And in this case, they're trying to basically rob these ranchers of their mortgages and get their cattle indirectly. So they send for Hoppy, and Mary Martin, who is played by Charlotte Field, goes off with little Billy to find Hopalong. And when they get near the camp, for some weird reason, Billy decides to shoot his gun to give the cowboys a scare, just for kicks. Really not a good idea to do something like that with armed cowhands, but whatever. Mary and Billy, they've accidentally stumbled across a bad guy's hideout as well. It was a small shack that was by a stream, and they let Hoppy know about this. So Hoppy's curious, so he and Billy go back, and Hoppy tells the kid to be a distraction so he can go sneak into the old shack. That seemed a little dubious, to have a kid be the dangerous decoy, but whatever. So he distracts the bad guys tell him to scram, and this gives Hopalong a chance to snoop around. So Hoppy kind of figures out there's something fishy going on, so his scheme is for the sheriff and his posse to leave town and wait for his signal. Now meanwhile, because they're all gone, and thinking the coast is clear, Nixon, Saunders, and their crew of bad guys, they have this false sense of security so they can return to town to loot it or whatever. However, Hoppy's plan is that his friends Windy and Lucky will show up, hold up Nixon's office, and steal his money. So Nixon and his crew, they come and they attack Windy and Lucky. There's a big shootout with the obligatory pot of water above Windy's head that gets shot and spills all over him, of course. Hoppy, meanwhile, he is held up at this lunch bar and can't really spring into action just yet. He's hanging out with his friend Sing Lo, who was played by Willie Fung, who's briefly in the film, but he's actually a really funny character as he helps defend Hoppy at one point from the bad guys by flinging coffee mugs at them. I don't know, it was goofy, but I thought it was funny. They are overcome, unfortunately, and they're tied up, but are they able to get free so Hoppy can pull off his grand scheme to foil the efforts of the bad guys? Well, you'll have to watch this one. I'm trying to summarize the detail, but this one was a little convoluted. You maybe have to see it for yourself. And just in conclusion, this was, I think, the 19th of the 66 Hopalong Cassidy movies. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed it, but it was a little tedious. But it's also a little bit short, too, so I can't really complain. And it's got Hoppy, Gabby, and Russell, so it's got the core three characters that I think make these films great. There is some action, there's a shootout, but that's about it. I enjoyed it, probably not as my favorite Hopalong film, but it's still worth checking out. Charlotte Field was fine as Mary Martin, and there really wasn't much about her on the Internet Movie Database. And by the way, Internet Movie Database, I am fine with uploading stills and images of actors when they're missing, but why do you require people to be a member of Internet Movie Database Pro in order to upload a picture of an actor that's missing? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, people are volunteering to give you this information. You should just take it freely and happily, but whatever. That's Pride of the West from 1938. It's an entertaining, probably not the best, but still worth checking out Hopalong Cassidy movie.